Imagine walking through a forest hundreds of millions of years ago. Above you, a dragonfly the size of a hawk glides silently through the air. On the ground, millipedes as long as a car crawl through thick vegetation. This may sound like a fantasy movie, but this was real life during Earth's ancient past. Today, insects are usually small, sometimes annoying, and often easy to overlook. But long before humans existed, insects ruled the land as some of the largest creatures around. So what happened? Why were ancient insects once giant? And why don't we see bugs that size today? Stick around until the end, because we'll have a short trivia challenge based on what you'll learn in this video. Our topic for today is why ancient insects were once giant. Around 300 million years ago, during the Carboniferous Period, Earth looked very different. Vast, swampy forests covered much of the land, filled with giant ferns, towering trees, and dense vegetation. These forests created the perfect environment for insects, not just to survive, but to grow huge. One of the most famous examples is Meganeura, a dragonfly-like insect with a wingspan of up to 70 centimeters, nearly the size of a modern eagle. There was also Arthropleura, a millipede-like creature that could grow over 2 meters long. These were not rare monsters. They were normal members of the ecosystem. The biggest reason ancient insects grew so large comes down to oxygen levels in the atmosphere. Today, oxygen makes up about 21% of Earth's air. During the Carboniferous Period, oxygen levels reached as high as 30 to 35%. That may not sound like a huge difference, but for insects, it changed everything. Insects don't breathe the way humans do. Instead of lungs, they rely on a network of tiny tubes called tracheae, which deliver oxygen directly to their tissues through small openings in their bodies. This system works well for small creatures, but it has limits. As insects get bigger, it becomes harder for oxygen to reach all parts of their bodies. With much more oxygen available in the air, ancient insects could absorb enough oxygen to support much larger bodies. Another major factor was the lack of large flying predators. During the time giant insects existed, birds did not yet exist, and flying reptiles were either rare or had not evolved. This meant that insects dominated the skies with very little competition or threat. With fewer predators hunting them, insects were free to evolve larger body sizes without being quickly eaten. Being big also had advantages. Larger insects were harder to kill, could travel farther, and were more successful at finding food and mates. If being giant worked so well, why don't we see massive insects today? The answer lies in change. Over time, oxygen levels dropped as climates shifted and forests disappeared. At the same time, new predators evolved, including birds, reptiles, and mammals. Lower oxygen levels made large insect bodies harder to support, and increased predation made being big more dangerous instead of beneficial. As a result, natural selection favored smaller, faster, and more efficient insects, the kind we see today. All right, let's see how much you learned. Here are 3 trivia questions. Ready? Let's get started. Question 1. What was the main reason ancient insects were able to grow so large? A. Stronger gravity. B. Higher oxygen levels. C. Faster reproduction. D. Colder global temperatures. Correct answer. B. Higher oxygen levels. Ancient insects relied on a tracheal system that delivers oxygen directly to their tissues. This system works efficiently only when oxygen is abundant. During the Carboniferous Period, oxygen levels were much higher than today, allowing insects to absorb enough oxygen to support much larger bodies. Without this high oxygen concentration, giant insects simply could not function. Question 2. Which ancient insect is famous for having a wingspan close to that of a modern bird? A. Arthropleura. B. Titanoboa. C. Meganeura. D. Anomalocaris. Correct answer. C. Meganeura. Meganeura was a prehistoric dragonfly-like insect that lived around 300 million years ago. Its wingspan reached up to 70 centimeters, making it one of the largest flying insects ever discovered. Unlike modern dragonflies, Meganeura benefited from high oxygen levels and a lack of aerial predators, allowing it to dominate the skies of its time. Last question. Why did giant insects eventually disappear? A. They ran out of food. B. Humans hunted them. C. Oxygen levels dropped and new predators evolved. D. Earth's gravity increased. Correct answer. C. Oxygen levels dropped and new predators evolved. As Earth's climate changed, oxygen levels decreased, making it harder for large insects to survive using their tracheal breathing system. At the same time, birds, reptiles, and mammals evolved, introducing new predators that made large size a disadvantage rather than an advantage. These combined pressures pushed insects to evolve into smaller, more efficient forms. And that's the incredible story of why ancient insects were once giants, and why today they're not. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution.